Hey everyone, I'm here with my 2020 Audi A4 Premium 45 TFSI Quattro, and surprise, surprise, I've actually turned in my car, traded it in for a different car, and just wanted to give you guys an update on what's happening in the land of Born to Drive and the cars that he is driving right now. So 2020 Audi A4, it's been a great car for me. I had it for about 2 years and 3 months. Sold it in March 2023 here, so just about a month ago. And I've been really happy with it. It was a great car, but it was time to move on to something else, a little more practical, a little more roomy, just, a little bit more family friendly. So yeah, this is a 2020 with 27,000 miles, just under that, about 26,771 miles. And today I just want to quickly go over exactly what happened with it, why it was such a good car to me, but also some of the things that might have gone wrong with it, or that that I would have reservations for a new buyer purchasing. And just as a as a shout out, Schmel's Countryside Alfa Romeo and Volkswagen of Maplewood, Minnesota has this car on sale right now for $31,990, and it does include the 30,000 and 40,000 mile prepaid maintenance through Audi Care that's included in the price, which includes really important stuff such as spark plugs, oil changes. Does not include tire rotations, but it includes a transmission DSG S-tronic service as well at 40,000 miles. And this is the S line, so it has the big rims and tires, 18 inches. Standard cars come with 17-inch wheels if you get the advanced line exterior package. And this car has just been on the lot here for about a week and a half, so it hasn't been really sitting that long. We've had a little bit of snow here in Minnesota and some rain, so the brake rotors have a little bit of grime on them, a little bit of surface rust, but that quickly comes off after just a few miles of driving. I've been really happy with this car. Like I said, it's had very few issues, and I'm going to cut quickly over to the issues that the car did have. The first thing that went wrong with this car upon delivery at 620 miles when I picked it up was actually just something really minor with the passenger rear door handle here on the driver's side. This cover that goes over, if you have the S-Line package like I have, it's actually a body colored door handle cover, and if you have the non-S-Line, it's a chrome handle. This handle wasn't fully slid forward or fully installed, so there was a gap between the shell or the frame of the door handle and the outer shell here. The second thing that has gone wrong over the last 20,800 miles on this A4 is just the clunkiness of the dual clutch S-tronic transmission. This is a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. It's internally set up like a manual with 2 clutches basically, but at low speeds it has a little bit of a clunkiness to it that just doesn't feel quite right sometimes. Downshifts can be a little harsh, and coming to a rolling stop and then taking off, and then the moment that it switches from second to first gear under 5 miles an hour and you hit the gas, the throttle pedal, it lurches forward kind of in an unrefined manner. And this is the 4th model year of the B9 generation, so I'm surprised that Audi hasn't tuned out a lot of that clunkiness by this point. That being said, I know that this is a problem that's inherent to dual clutch automatic transmissions that don't have a torque converter. The transmission mechatronics unit, which is the clutch pack of the system, was actually updated and reset by the dealership, and that has since improved the transmission clunkiness substantially. It's relearned and my driving behaviors and has smoothed itself out over the last 20,000 miles or so. The third thing that's gone wrong with this 2020 A4 is that the rear package shelf has been vibrating and making rattling noises when you have the audio system on and bass is at moderate volumes and the music levels at moderate volumes. I should say the bass levels at moderate volumes as well. So felt tape was put under each of those package shelf speakers here on the left and one on the right in the corners in order to dampen that vibration and that rattling noise. And then in addition, at about 10,000 miles, so the tape was installed only about 1,000 miles ago on the speaker shelves, but about 10,000 miles ago, the rear brake light, or the rear Chimsel center high mount brake lamp, was replaced completely, and so it has kind of a newer, more pliable rubber design that goes against the glass here. where it seals up to the glass at the top of the back window. And that reduced the vibration and the rattling substantially when the bass was higher on the audio system. The fourth thing that's gone wrong with this 2020 Audi A4 is the rear tail lamps mounted to the trunk lid here were actually leaking water into the trunk compartment, into the luggage compartment. So if I open the trunk here, we might be able to see exactly where the water was dripping out. But basically underneath this carpet material here that lines the inside of the trunk lid, water was streaming out of this side on the driver's side and into the passenger or the trunk compartment here onto some luggage when I was dropping off a friend at the airport in the rain. And that's when I noticed that this was happening. So I brought it to the dealer and they brought it through a car wash, folded the seats down, and someone sat in the back seat, shined a flashlight with these covers taken off, and they could see water coming in. And then when you open the lid, water comes in and gets on all your stuff that's in here. So both rear tail lamps were actually replaced with ones that are just a little bit better sealed around the edges, and it's hard to really tell if there's really that many improvements on here, but they seem to fit pretty well to the deck lid on both sides. So I think that's an improvement, but maybe at the factory they weren't installed correctly in the first place. But either way, now the water does not come in and I don't have any more leaks. The fifth thing that's gone wrong with this Audi A4 is actually related to the telecommunications module and the communications module. They're bundled as one in this car, and it caused the infotainment system to freeze up, and you wouldn't be able to have the emergency call assist function, which is a button that's up here. I believe it's right here. So that wouldn't be able to be active. So that was under a service bulletin that Audi issued in April 2022. This car, the software update did not actually work with this car, and so they had to replace the telecommunications module, then update it after they installed the new module. So that was a little bit of a pricey thing for Audi to do. So they canceled that service bulletin. I'm not sure if it was just too expensive for Audi to keep doing it after a lot of modules were getting fried or bricked as a result of doing the update, and they had to keep replacing modules. But either way, I got this car in before that service bulletin was taken away, so I got an updated module and updated software as a result. And the seventh and final thing that's gone wrong with this Audi A4 2020 model is that the MIB3 infotainment system used to have a lot of issues when I first got it, with the screen turning black, Apple CarPlay freezing, and I would have to hold down this volume control knob for 10 seconds to reset this entire system and reboot it. And I'd also have connectivity issues where I'd plug in my phone for Apple CarPlay and it wouldn't recognize my phone, and so I'd have to do that 2 or 3 times once in a while to get it to finally recognize that my phone was plugged in. Well, in April 2022, Audi released a service bulletin to address all those issues, and also to address the fact that you could say, hey Audi, and have a, see, now it's going to say it, but in order for the voice command system to work. And that wasn't available before this update, and it was supposed to be available on this car. And the garage door opener that's accessible with the with this infotainment system here in the top left corner was not available while the car was in motion, and using the button on the steering wheel was the only way to turn on the garage door opener if you set your favorite item to that star button here on the steering wheel, but you couldn't do it through the infotainment system. So this update also resolved that issue. And now this infotainment system works great, doesn't have a lot of freezing issues anymore, and it's snappy and quick. And it added this additional third page here that 2021 models had originally, but 2020 models did not, with the tiles here on the third page of the infotainment system. And the other items that I've done on this car, I've just included maintenance items. I've done a brake fluid change. That was part of the 2-year, 20,000 mile maintenance. I've done 4 oil changes, one at 620 miles when I bought the car, the dealer did that one at 7,800 miles, and one at 14,600 miles, and one at 20,400 miles. So that's 4 oil changes on this car. I've done an engine air filter replacement, cabin air filter replacement, tire rotation and balance, and I've just monitored the tire pressure to make sure they're at 36 psi even in cold weather to get the maximum fuel economy. So the ownership experience has been really great with this car. I've been really happy with it. and I haven't had a lot of things out of pocket other than the tire rotation, since the oil changes and maintenance have been covered under the Audi Care maintenance plan through 40,000 miles. And the last thing to mention in terms of problems that I've had with this 2020 Audi A4 over 26,770 miles is, on the highway there was a quick malfunction of the lights that were on the dashboard. I think the dashboard gave me a warning light saying that the rear turn signal was faulty and had a problem, and that was because someone had spun out on the highway. I turned on the emergency flashers, like the hazard warning lights, and changed lanes at the same time that I did that, and I think it confused the electrical system and caused a faulty rear turn signal lamp to occur. That's the last issue that occurred with the car, but it quickly was resolved just by restarting the vehicle, so no issues there. Again, I've been really happy with it. It has very few scratches or dents or anything. Excuse the loud noises here from the highway at rush hour, but it had very few issues, very few dents and scratches on the vehicle, so I haven't had anything like that. Never had any curb rash on any of the wheels or any of the tires for that matter. And yeah, it's been a great car. It has about 730 seconds of tread on all 4 tires that are Pirelli Centurato P7 all-season tires. They're not run flats. This car has a full-size spare tire in the trunk, which is a great thing about Audis and VWs. So if you ever get a flat, you don't have to rely on any run flats and issues with those if you're on a long road trip. So it's only about 35% worn in terms of the tread on the tires. And the brake pads have about 8 millimeters of thickness left, which I believe the new pads were 10 or 11 millimeters thick. So only about 25% worn on that on the brake pads front and rear. So no issues there. Just a few details here, including the VIN. And like I said, this car is a 2-owner. It's just me and the dealer that had this before, which was Audi Minneapolis. And it was a great car for me, and I'm sure it'll be a great car for whoever takes care of it next. All-wheel drive, and a fantastic acceleration with the car, and great fuel economy on both mid-grade and premium fuel. I did tests on both that I didn't really disclose to the channel here, and actually I got my best fuel economy on mid-grade gas, which is really surprising. So max power on premium, best gas mileage on mid-grade gas, 89 octane, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was informative and I gave you guys some insight as to how the 2020 Audi A4 lived up to its reputation over 2 years, 3 months of ownership and 26,770 miles. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the section below, and check out Trevor Johnson's contact information, including the dealer's inventory and the link in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a good one.